case, I think puts that pressure on there. So let's talk about the jury now. It was interesting. We had a jury consultant tell us, Bernarda, that prosecutors would want younger jurors here. This is like opposite world, right? Usually it's the defense that's looking for those younger jurors.
Yeah, so what the prosecution is going to be looking for in their perfect juror is one of these young liberal jurors that are open-minded, are not pro-police, are more pro-liberal movement and pro-making change to actually sit on this jury, to not be afraid to rule against the police. So that is their target juror in this case. Jurors that are willing to speak out, those that protest, those that are willing to take a stand, and those who have strong positions. Unfortunately, because of jury selection, and of course the prosecution as well as the defense is going to have a decision to make as to whether they select this certain juror. However, they only have a certain amount of preemptory challenges that they can use.
Well, that brings us, Imran, to who the judge will bounce here. When you talk about, because the lawyers are going to know who the jurors are, which means they'll be able to dive into their social media, right, and see who's been posting pictures of George Floyd, who's been posting pictures of the thin blue line. From my perspective, the fascinating part of this jury selection process is going to be who the judge will excuse based upon things that a potential juror may have said or posted online.
Yeah, Vinny, I think there's going to be a tremendous amount of challenges for cause. And particularly on things that you said, you know that these attorneys, whether you be on the prosecution side or the defense side, are going to be analyzing these jurors to the ninth degree. They're going to be looking at the social media. They're going to be looking at how they answer this juror questionnaire that I actually have in front of me now. And they're going to be picking apart whether these jurors can be fair and impartial, because so many people out there, Vinny, have strong opinions on what happened here. How the judge will decide, well, you know what? I think there's going to be ample challenges for cause, and the judge is going to be very busy in this case in deciding those challenges for cause.
All right, Neama, someone who has voiced those strong opinions, let's just say online. Is it possible to rehabilitate them? Can you rehabilitate the person who changed their profile picture to George Floyd? Can you rehabilitate the person who, changed their profile picture to the thin blue line American flag?
I don't think so, Vinny. I know the attorneys will try, because you want the defense, if you're the prosecution, to use their 15 peremptories. But, you cannot rehabilitate a juror that has already come in and expressed an opinion on the case and the guilt or innocence of the parties involved. If you do, you're creating an appellate issue. And really, the last thing you want, if you're the prosecution, is to get that guilty verdict and have to retry this case. So I wouldn't want one of those jurors on my panel. If I were the prosecution anyway, I want to get my guilty verdict. I want to make sure it stands on appeal, and I don't want to have to retry this case again.
And you know what, Bernarda? All those young jurors, how many young people, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever, voiced an opinion on all of this?
Look, Vinny, it's going to be very difficult for either side to find a juror that did not make one comment about this horrible situation. Look, the George Floyd killing was one that moved the nation, that caused protests all around the country and all around the world, and caused change. The question is not, do you have an opinion, a strong opinion? The question is, for the potential juror, can you be fair and impartial to both sides? Can you put your opinion to the side and be able to evaluate the facts as they're presented during this trial, and not what you heard or you've seen outside of the courtroom? That is the question for each juror, because we all have opinions. We all have stands. Does that mean because I took a stand that I can't be a fair juror? Absolutely not.
All right, Imran, if someone was marching through the streets of Minneapolis, despite the fact, after this happened, right, can that person put that aside? And is it reasonable to believe that the judge can allow that person to put that opinion aside?
Vinny, I think that if you are your beliefs, your strong opinions, as Bernarda just referred to, rose to a level that you were on the street protesting, which is everyone's right in this country. I'm not saying it's wrong, but could you be a fair and impartial juror in this case? I'm going to say no. And if I'm not getting you out on the defense with a challenge for cause, I'm going to be using my preempt on you, if I have any left, because this is going to be one where those preempts are going to be going and flying off the shelf.
All right, folks, we will continue. 14 days. I mean, it is 14 days away. Cameras, microphones inside the courtroom. You're going to see and hear all the evidence and the arguments that are being made. All right, when we come back, we're going to take you out to Wisconsin. It's the case that you're currently watching